Biography 5. Charlemagne, Father of Europe. Charlemagne, also known as Charles the Great, holds a unique place in history because of the way he shaped early medieval Europe. At a time when the Western world was still recovering from the fall of the Roman Empire, he became a leader who combined military power with cultural vision. Born around April 2nd, 747, likely in the region of Liège or Aachen, he inherited the Frankish tradition from his father, Pepin the Short, and the powerful legacy of his grandfather, Charles Martel. His rule bridged the gap between the chaos of the post-Roman world and the beginnings of what would become modern Europe. This is why many later generations called him the Father of Europe, a title that reflects his deep influence on Western civilization. In his early years, Charlemagne shared power with his brother Carloman after their father's death in 768. These years taught him the difficulty of maintaining unity in a divided kingdom. He grew up in a court that valued both military strength and political strategy, and he learned to balance these qualities at a young age. When Carloman died in 771, Charlemagne became the sole ruler of the Franks. From that point onward, he carried not only the weight of his father's throne, but also the hopes of uniting scattered tribes and protecting the church that gave legitimacy to his rule. Education and cultural influence played a significant role in Charlemagne's life, even though he was not formally trained like a scholar. He surrounded himself with leading thinkers and educators, such as Alcuin of York, who helped him establish schools and revive learning in his empire. He promoted literacy, encouraged the study of law, and preserved important texts of the Bible and classical works. While he may not have been highly educated himself, Charlemagne understood the power of knowledge and made sure his court became a center of intellectual activity. This effort to revive education became known as the Carolingian Renaissance. His achievements were as vast as his empire. Through military campaigns, Charlemagne expanded Frankish power over Lombardy in Italy, Bavaria in Germany, Saxony in the north, and even parts of Spain. His greatest recognition came on Christmas Day in the year 800, when Pope Leo III crowned him Emperor of the Romans. This moment revived the idea of a Western Roman Empire, linking Charlemagne's authority to both political strength and divine blessing. Beyond military conquests, his reforms brought order to administration and law, making his empire more stable and connected than any Western power since ancient Rome. The turning points of his life were not only marked by victory, but also by vision. His decision to support education, build churches, and create a unified Christian identity was as important as his military success. He believed a ruler should protect both the body and the soul of his people. His Palatine Chapel in Aachen symbolized this dual mission, a place of worship, culture, and imperial power. Charlemagne's ability to balance spiritual leadership with earthly rule made him stand out among kings and emperors of his age, setting the model for rulers who came after him. Yet his story also contains shadows. His long campaign against the Saxons, which lasted more than 30 years, was marked by brutality. The forced conversions of pagans and the massacre of Verdun, where thousands of Saxons were executed, showed a harsh side of his reign. Some historians debate whether these actions were necessary to secure unity or simply excessive violence justified in the name of faith. He also faced challenges from the Eastern Roman Empire, which questioned the legitimacy of his imperial title, and had to constantly maintain balance with the Pope, who both supported and limited his authority. Despite these struggles, Charlemagne's legacy grew stronger after his death in Aachen on January 28, 814. He became a symbol of unity in Western Europe, celebrated in stories like the Song of Roland, and remembered in countless artworks, relics, and legends. His burial site in Aachen Cathedral became a place of pilgrimage, and centuries later, his memory inspired the creation of the Charlemagne Prize, awarded to those who work for European unity. To this day, his image, broad-shouldered, wise, and deeply religious, remains one of the most powerful symbols of medieval kingship. In modern times, Charlemagne is more than a medieval emperor. He is a lesson in leadership, vision, and cultural renewal. He showed how education could strengthen society, how unity could be built among diverse peoples, and how rulers could combine strength with wisdom. While his methods were sometimes harsh, the values he promoted, order, learning, and cooperation, still speak to leaders and educators today. His story reminds us that history is not only about battles, but also about ideas, and that true greatness comes from shaping both the mind and the heart of a civilization.